Today in the tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to bead a comb and then to add a little charm. You know, little charms that you put on bracelets and whatnot. It adds such a nice little touch and personality to the comb and can reflect the bride as well. Hi, I'm Dorene Vandermeer. I'm a bridal milliner and I'm sharing 35 years worth of experience with you. And one of them is how to do a custom beaded comb. All of your supplies will be in the description, so if you want to join this charming adventure, come along with me. All right, so I have everything laid out and I have my beads that I would like to use, and I'm going to just show you real quick the supplies you're going to need. For this application, I'm going to use some cut lace or you can use felt as well. And I'm going to be using a beading needle and some invisible thread. And I like to do 3 different kinds of beads, or even 4 different kinds. I like to do a base bead, which is bigger, a accent bead, which can be a crystal or it could be a tiny little Sawrovski pearl. And then we have seed beads, which would be considered a filler bead. And filler beads are really lovely to add that little pop of color. And here's an example. You could do like a green and peach. For this bride, I'm going to be doing a silver bead for my filler, crystal for my accent, and I'm going to be using these beautiful freshwater pearls for my base. And I am also going to be using a second accent bead, which is a Swarovski 3mm pearl. The other little thing we're going to be doing is adding a little charm to it. And I love doing this. It's so pretty because it adds like a little layer of personality to your piece. I found this little beautiful little butterfly. You could also do 2 little dancing dragonflies. You could put like little flowers. You could bead in some ribbons. And what if there's a photographer in the house who's getting married? You could put anything. Little charms are such a great way to add personality. I think for this one, I'm going to add a beautiful landing butterfly. You'll need a fully gathered veil, and you can go to Let's Gather Together where I show you how to gather this veil. And then you're going to need a 2-inch comb because that's what we're going to be beading. Put this comb on. This is already gathered. I'm going to go ahead and just put a bead of glue here. And I'm going to place my veil on. And I'm going to take my invisible thread and just real quick, put a whip stitch on there. And this beautiful veil is edged in a pencil edge, and we do have a tutorial on that. Let's get edgy with a pencil edge if you want to learn how to do that. All right, now that this is on, and I want you to notice, it's very important when I'm gathering a veil, and this is what I teach in that tutorial, that your gathers be really nice and straight. You don't want them to be all laying over one another, and that is very important in this application because we're going to sew on top of that, and you don't want like a piece that way or that way. You want it to lay out nice and flat. All right, so I've got a bunch of cut lace here, and I've been looking through it. Here's a piece of lace that I cut from some Alcon lace, and I'm going to just try to find a nice scallop that will fit nicely on this comb. Most of it's going to be covered. That's okay. We're going to throw it on here and bead on top of it. And I want to have enough to go all the way around to the back because I want the back to look as good as the front. And this bigger scallop is where I'm going to go in the middle. And there's so many different kinds of laces. So just kind of look at the pattern of the lace, and that can inspire your beading. It really can. And now I'm going to glue that on and place the lace over the top. And already it's looking great. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the other side. And they come together about right here. All right, we're ready to bead. The base is set. Straighten this out a little bit, and we are ready to go. So the first bead we're going to do is the base bead. The base bead is usually your biggest bead, and that one we're going to scatter throughout, and then we're going to put the lovely accent beads and then the filler beads. And what's nice about using lace is you don't necessarily have to do a ton of beading. If I was going to do a felt application, which I'll do in another tutorial, that one has more of a big base and it's just full of beads. Here we're just going to just accent them. So what I like to do is I like to land the bead and see how it looks to me before I start sewing, and that looks great. And there's really no rhyme or reason. You could do them in a nice straight row. You could do them more in a zigzag pattern, and that's sort of what I'm going to go for, a little zigzag pattern. You know, I'm not liking how this top is kind of exposed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place another piece of netting lace over the top of that. I have all kinds of pieces of lace in here that will work. I'm looking for something that go really nice in a line like this. This is netting lace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little piece off of that. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm hiding that metal so the beads will just kind of rest on top of it. That way I don't have to really bead too much, but it also just kind of caps it off. See, now I tap that off. Now I can keep going. Sometimes it's a process of just kind of like, what does it look like? How does it feel? You know, it's just, there's no right or wrong. It's really a process of just discovering. I love that. Let's discover what this looks like. And freshwater pearls are just so beautiful. And so now I'm putting one over in this corner here to kind of go over that top that I just created. I'm looking at this to be balanced. That's all I'm looking for, is my eye feeling balanced, and that's feeling balanced. We're going to be creating little areas to put other beads. Such a fun thing to do. It's very addictive. And what's so cool about this is when I was doing this full time and raising the triplets, I literally took a basket with me and I would just bead wherever I went. And I would do a lot of French netting veils and a lot of fascinators, and I would just bead them separately and then place them on later. It was just a real easy way to do my business and still have a family, and I was able to be at home. It was great. Now the triplets are grown up. All right, I'm gonna keep placing them. We've got our base beads in, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock the stitch. Looking great. That's a good base. I like that it's kind of going in a zigzag form, and then we're going to continue to fill it in. Now I'm going to go back in on this one here that had a little issue because it got caught up, and I'm going to tighten that one up so you know how to do it. It's pretty easy. You just go back through the hole. Now sometimes these holes are pretty small, so going through it twice is not the easiest event, but it looks like we may have, yay. We can do it. So I just go back through that one and then I lock that back in and sink it back down so it's not moving around. And also too, I noticed that if you see up here, this got a little out of whack. So let's move that over so that it's in line with the other one. See, this one's over here on the back side, but this one's over here on the front side. So I'm going to move it to the back by anchoring it with a little stitch at the top. So see, that little area needed a base bead there. I'm going to go ahead and put some more over here when it comes. So just keep your beads out, because you may add another bead here and there of the base beads. You may add another accent bead. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some accents in here with the crystals. And I've just got some clear Sawrovski crystals. These are bicone crystals. They sparkle so nicely in your comb. And there's that little crystal in there. And we're going to go through and put some more all the way down. And what I'm looking at when I'm beading in this area is I'm looking at the little pockets. So we have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, you know, there's pockets all over. So we're just going to accent inside of those pockets. And you don't need a ton of the accent beads. They're just there maybe to add some color. There's beautiful Sawrovski and all different kind of color pearls. You could use those as your accents. But there is no limit to what you can do. And I'm also keeping in my mind balance, kind of distributing them evenly throughout, looking lovely. All right, so we're getting to the end here, and if you recall, I was going to put another couple of base beads towards the end to kind of mimic the other side, because we're looking for balance. So take a look and see how is it balanced out. So I think we need another base bead up here. There, that helped. Looking pretty. We're going to put some more accent beads in there that we got those bases in there. Now we're going to put some of the Swarovski pearls in there. And I'm using what is called cream rose. I don't even know if they still make that color, but it's such a beautiful color. It's kind of blush ivory. And now as we're getting into the thick of it, the glue is setting. We've got lots of layers of the lace. You'll need pliers. And now what I'm doing is I'm finding other little pockets in here. When you're sewing this, don't pull it too tight. You want it just tight enough so that it rests right on top. You pull it too tight, it'll go through and it'll sink in. Here, I'll show you. If I pull this even tighter, that pearl sinks in and shoves everything around. If I do it just enough, it lays on top. And that's kind of what we're looking for. It's a finessing. You know, it's very interesting. I was just thinking about this the other day, like, why would I start a YouTube channel at 57? It's just the craziest idea, right? I didn't have to. But I realized, you know, as I retired in 2017 from millinery, this beautiful, amazing trade is literally going to be gone if people like myself, who have done this for most of my career, don't share what we've known. And, you know, maybe you know how to do scrapbooking or different things that are kind of a lost art anymore. You know, sharing these things, especially the things where we make them with our hands. There's no AI. There's just you, the beads, a needle, thread, and a veil. I love that. This is personal. This is everything. Because everything you do with your hands, and especially if you do it well, will last. It'll be around for a lifetime. Like this veil can be passed down, and it can be passed down for years. I have heard of many of my brides who told me they passed it down to their sister. And it's so beautiful to me to think that what we make with our hand is a gift to a family. It's a gift to the bride. It's a gift to yourself. So if you're out there and you're maybe a quilter and you're good at what you do and you have time on your hands, do it. There's so many tutorials on how to film, and I've really gained a lot of great information watching YouTube videos on how to do tutorials and stuff. I had to learn all this, how to film. It was a learning curve extraordinaire, but I'm learning that these things that we have learned over time is a gift to share. So share your gifts out there, people. We're almost done. I mean, honestly, we could stop right here and it's great. But we're going to add that next layer with the seed beads. Come back in, put another pearl here. Now for the seed beads, I'm going to be using silver. And so what I do is I take 3 and I just bead 3 together like that. And now what I'm going to do is weave in between the beads here and there. Such a perfect place to add color. And sometimes I'll do a silver and maybe a purple and a silver. It's whatever the bride wants, I'll fill it up. And now would be a good time while we're doing the seed beads to put the charm in. So what I do is I take that little, the charms will have that little hook to put on like a bracelet or whatnot, and I just pull that off. And it would be fun to kind of just land it off to the side here, either side. Why don't we land it right there? And I'm going to put a stitch around that butterfly. Since it's invisible, you won't see it. So what I'm doing is I'm hiding that little loop on top of that charm with some beads. And then we're just going to go back and continue to fill up. And now's a good time if you're seeing little accents that we missed, like I missed a crystal over here, just go ahead and stick those little extra accents in, or a base bead, or whatever, you know, little piece that you need to keep it going and looking beautiful. So it looks like that little butterfly has become a part of the beading. It's just amazing. I've beaded buttons. I've had brides send me things. I had one bride send me a cameo. All right, so that silver accents are almost done. I think we're going to just go light on those. And the reason I was using the silver with this as an accent is I wanted to kind of pull in that metal aspect of that butterfly, that silvery, beautiful butterfly. And there are the seed beads, and they also sparkle. Isn't that looking great? The little butterfly flying on there for the bride who loves butterflies. And it looks so beautiful to me. It's got that balance. It's got the Sawrovski in there. It's got the crystals sparkling. It has the beautiful charm on there. You know, just have fun. Think outside the box. Go to Michael's, check out their charms, and have fun adding those to your beading mix. Because when you do, this is a one-of-a-kind. That's it. Isn't that fun? You can do so many different variations of beads that there's really no limit to what you can do with beads, right? Because there's so many colors, there's so many variations. It's a great place to add color with seed beads and little charms. And honestly, charms are a way for me to allow the bride to be a part of the process that I'm making. If they love flowers, they can put little charm flowers in. It's whatever they want. It's one of those things I just love doing, customizing a piece just for them. If you're interested in other ways to embellish your comb, check out my playlist, Put a Comb on It, and it's going to show you all different kinds of ways that I have fun with combs. Thank you for stopping in. I look forward to seeing you again. See you later, veil makers.